Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the award-winning Fearless Tarot and Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards and Matters of the Heart. Both books are published by Llewellyn Books. They're online wherever books are sold. And it is time for this week's Oracle. So earlier on my social media, I placed up a photo of 3 different animals and asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal's calling to you, because that animal has your message. And the 3 animals were the chameleon, the sea turtle, and the spider. So if you're just joining me now, ask yourself which animal seems to be calling to you, because that animal has your message. And you'll also want to stick around for the outro of the video, because I'm going to pick one final tarot card for everybody, for the collective, with one parting message for everyone to take into their mind and heart for the week ahead. So without further ado, let's go into the chameleon animal spirit. And the chameleon is a symbol of camouflage. The chameleon can change its color. And that energy of changing one's color can represent changing your energy to meet the moment. And so if you're attracted to chameleon at this time, there could be an energy that you're seeing or desiring or wanting to be a part of. And the chameleon's saying that the way to make that yours is to make that your new normal. So whether it's like, I want a career in this sort of realm or this area, the chameleon could tell you, be around the people who are in that career. Be in that atmosphere where you're around the energy that you're trying to attract to yourself, because that will become your new normal and you'll become acclimated to it. And your inner color, your inner vibration is going to match what's happening around you externally. Now, the first card we're going to go into for the chameleon is, where is it best for you to place your focus this next week? And we get the gentle, patient Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles can be coming up for you this week to say that this is a time where you really want to stay focused on your goals. The Queen of Pentacles isn't in her garden and it isn't in full bloom yet. And yet she's not bothered by that. She's focused on the coin in her lap. And the coin is a symbol for something that you're trying to make manifest, something that you're trying to bring into the real world, materialize. And the Queen of Pentacles can represent hard work, a project, an area of your focus. But whatever this is something that you're gently putting your focus on and trying to bring into being, trying to make this manifest. And the Queen of Pentacles, like all successful Pentacles cards, will say that you will absolutely get what you want. You're going to get your reward if you can stay focused, if you can also be patient with this growing process. And always with this Queen of Pentacles, there's that little nattering rabbit in the corner that's hidden in the card, which can represent our anxiety, nervous energy, or worry about how this is all going to happen, how to make this all focus. When I couple the Queen of Pentacles energy with the chameleon energy, again, that message of, if you're trying to manifest something, be in the environment of that thing that makes that your new normal, that makes you that your reality. And then you will put out the signals and the vibrations that just make you belong there. And so this is a time for you to really place your focus on that long-term success, but also in those environments, even if it scares you a little bit. Notice the Queen of Pentacles does not give the rabbit the soapbox. She's not focused on the rabbit. She's focused on the coin. But in a more benevolent interpretation of a rabbit, aside from just anxiety, rabbit can also represent fertility. And where your focus going, that is what's going to give birth to more of that sort of energy. So again, you want to be very trained, very focused on where you're placing your attention, because that is going to grow. That is going to multiply exponentially. So turning away from an anxiety and instead turning away towards something that makes you feel a little more empowered is definitely the message of the Queen of Pentacles. And then we go into the advice from your inner wisdom. If you picked this first animal, and we got the Star card. And the star is the symbol of hope in the tarot. The star is saying that there is definite hope for you. It might also indicate that you just came out of a difficult time, that the chameleon might have had to match its energy signatures to things that didn't feel very harmonious or were really difficult. The star appears in the major arcana after all the shadow cards, after the cards that have to do with the underworld or facing our greatest fears. And then it is the transcendent card that says there is light in the dark. There's a way forward. The stars are maps for sailors at sea, at night when they're lost. And so too for you, the star can say that you're getting this divine, inspired sort of energy that's going to help lead you towards your best goals. But the star is also a card of taking action on balance and service. We can see the woman on the star card. She's taken out of the universal pool, and she's pouring some of that water next to her on the dry land, symbolizing that she's using that universal energy to benefit her environment, her land, what she's manifesting. But notice she's also pouring some of that water back into the universal pool. And what that indicates is that whatever it is that you're stepping into, there needs to be an equal balance between how it benefits you, but also how it's of service to the collective, how this goes beyond just yourself, or how you're impacting the collective in a positive way. And I just kind of feel that the wisdom that you've gained from the very difficult, winding journey that's led up until now, this star card is saying that that wisdom is going to be put to good use at this time. So I just feel that this is a really significant time for Chameleon, where there's a turning point and where the thing you're trying to manifest, it's within reach. It is definitely something that you're placing your focus or attention on. And it looks like there's a lot of hope surrounding this as well. And, we juxtapose star energy against the Queen of Pentacles. The star can be very esoteric and spiritual, has to do with beliefs or having faith in something, but it's counterbalanced with the very practical Queen of Pentacles, which is saying that we're not just talking about pie in the sky ideas here. We're also seeing something that is married to the earth, that's married to something that's manifesting in the real world. And even that star symbolism, the woman's got one foot in the pool, one foot on the dry land. So it really does say that there's this lovely balance for the chameleon with what they're trying to manifest. And then we're going to go into a final card for Chameleon, which is the mythic archetype that's going to help you this week. And for the mythic archetype, I'm using the Oracle of the Celestial Deities by Latao Wang. Very nice deck. And the card we get here, or the mythic archetype that's going to help you, is Mars. And Mars's card says passion, action, and the wish to persevere. And indeed, if Mars is coming up for you, Chameleon, this is a time to act. This is a time to get things moving. And I feel like there is a really lovely sort of complementary energy here because we have like the faith of the star. We have the very practical, pragmatic steps that the Queen of Pentacles is taking. But then we have that fiery action of Mars, which is like, get it done. Also, Mars, he is the god of war. And what he can indicate is that there is a conflict that must occur for growth to occur. Without conflict, there is no growth. And when things are just easy and sedentary and kind of just lazing about, there isn't this call to arms to bring out your best, most courageous self. So I feel like there is a challenge that Mars is also presenting, which is saying, you must take action. You must go for it. You must confront something that you've been afraid to confront. You must persevere even in the face of the rabbit's anxiety, but you have to take action. And also, it might be an interesting time to get an astrology reading or figure out what Mars is doing in your astrological chart. What aspects is it making, or what house is it transiting through? This could be a time where you do a little bit of go down the rabbit hole in Google and find out what Mars is doing for you by looking up your chart. But I just feel, aside from that, even the astrology aside, this is a time to act. And your day of perseverance is at hand, but you must make yourself uncomfortable with something. You must confront something in order to succeed. So that being said, for the chameleon, we're going to go into the next animal spirit, which is the sea turtle. And before I get into the sea turtle, please do like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. And I am so appreciative to all of you that take that step. So for the sea turtle is much like that star card, marrying the element of earth, the turtle, with the sea, which is the element of water. And so that balance between the practical and the spiritual, or the emotional and the spiritual, might be so important for you. The sea turtle could also be coming up for you at this time when there is this current that you're needing to follow through the sea of your life, that there's a jet stream that you need to tap into. Perhaps you've been lumbering through on that earth plane energy and feeling like you're not moving very fast. Sea turtles look rather clumsy on the earth. But in the water, in the ocean, they find those undercurrents, those channels of water, those jet streams that just shoot them forward. And so this could be a time for you to look at where the energy is flowing around you and to align with that energy that seems to be propelling you forward. First card for sea turtle is what is it best for you to place your focus on at this time? And we get the Four of Pentacles, who we don't always see often on the Oracle Reveal. And yet this card is just full of symbolism. We see the miser who's clutching the 4 coins tightly. And he's thinking, I need to hang on to these coins because these are going to make me important or stable or secure in the real world. And look behind the miser, you can see multiple towers, which is reminiscent of the Tower card. And anytime we're seeing towers in the tarot, it can represent artifice, something we're in denial about, something that builds higher and higher and gets us further and further away from our true nature. And so too with the Four of Pentacles, this figure's so anxious and worried about hanging on to this material success or this way he's trying to prove himself in the external world. It's making him absolutely miserable. And the reason is these pentacles, these coins on this card are not a source of, wealth and stability, generally speaking, but instead have become burdensome. They become blockages. The coin on his head is blocking him from hearing his spirit. The coin on his heart is blocking him from feeling his real feelings. The coins under both feet are blocking him from feeling grounded with the earth, where his true power comes from, and where all things can manifest without anxiety. And so when this card comes up, you might be facing a challenge, sea turtle, where what has been providing security for you up into this moment is no longer hitting the mark. And it may feel as if this is actually becoming burdensome, and it may actually feel like it's blocking you in some way. And so it's so important for you to take a mental inventory of your life at this time and ask yourself, is this serving me? Do I feel even good with this thing? Does this matter? Sometimes the Four of Pentacles can indicate having to hang on to a job we don't like, or hang on to a status quo that we really don't have a choice with right now because it is how we have to survive. And yet there's always a solution to problems. And you don't want to throw your hands up in the air and say, well, I guess that's just hopeless, so we're just going to have to stay this way forever. No, you don't have to stay this way forever. Sometimes in the near future, yes, you do. Sometimes in the next year, as you're coming up with an exit strategy or a new plan, yes, you do. But not forever. And so it's so important that you're thinking outside of the box of the Four of Pentacles. And just on a very mundane level, sometimes people interpret the Four of Pentacles as being very conservative on a financial level, or very, cautious about what you're investing in at this time. So if there's any big ticket item that you're impulsively just itching to go and get, this could be a sign, hey, think about it twice, or at least maybe wait till the whole Mercury retrograde and shadow of Mercury retrograde is over so that you can start progressing forward and buying those things. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you pick the sea turtle, is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is a card of dreams, but also illusions. This is a card of fantasy. And when we couple it with the Four of Pentacles, I feel like this card can represent some sort of an imaginative or creative mindset that you're bringing to the situation that's in front of you that's becoming a struggle, because you're projecting the worst case scenarios or the best case scenarios on the situation in front of you without any evidence. The Seven of Cups is misleading. It lures us away from reality, and it shows us dragons and snakes to terrify us, or it dazzles us with jewels and crowns to entice us. And yet, always with this card, it's saying, focus on what's really going on. I feel with both of these cards as well that your perspective may be askew this next week, Sea Turtle, and that it would be beneficial for you to reach out to somebody who's objective or doesn't have a horse in the race with a decision that you need to make. Seven of Cups can also indicate that you want to reserve your judgment about any potential future situation without all the facts on the table in front of you. I feel like the facts are what are going to matter here. And yet, Seven of Cups is a rather dreamy card, sometimes even an even beautiful dream card. It can kind of lure you into complacency or settling for a way of life that isn't really benefiting you anymore because there's a promise or hope that it will live up to some greater potential later on. And yet, it has no facts to support it. And so I just kind of feel like this is a time for the sea turtle to get some perspective, to balance not just what they're feeling, but also to balance that with what the practical reality is. And that earth and water element is with the pentacles and the cup suit here. I think that that's so important for the sea turtle. It is saying that it's not one or the other. It's not I'm following my heart and who cares about the practical. And it's not I'm going to be so mired by the practical that my heart's just going to have to suffer and wait and it's never going to feel better ever. It's something that is found in between. And so I feel like you're needing a new alternate pathway ahead. And that might be illuminated by another perspective. And so let's see if there's a mythic archetype that can help you with this situation. And absolutely there is with the sun. And with the sun, we see the god Apollo here, or a likeness of him with his lyre. And his card says center, self, and the wish to shine. And I kind of feel with the sun, this is a card that is saying that you're needing to take all these amorphous things that are happening unconsciously for you, all these things that are rooted in fear, that are probably being fed by some unconscious emotion that's going on beneath the surface. And it's time to bring these all out into the light of day. It's time to let the sun shine on what the facts truly are. It's also time to find your center again. And the sun is the ultimate symbol for spirit or spirituality. It is the main celestial body of which our whole solar system orbits around. And so this could be a time when you're turning your face to something transcendent, something higher, but you're also letting sunlight be the best disinfectant for your greatest fears or anxieties about what's happening for you. And finally, the sun is always a symbol that a new day can always dawn. And with Apollo, the god of divination and music, you may find inspiration or clarity from the arts or even from divination, maybe pulling some cards yourself or getting a reading from someone that you're trusting. But there could be a message that you're needing to clarify, and you're needing to put the light of the divine on your situation so you're seeing it truly clearly. And you're not just on this hamster wheel of what your unconscious fears of lack or hope are really kind of feeding. And so I just feel this is a time for clarity, perspective, and detachment. And that leads us finally to the spider animal spirit. So for those of you who picked the spider, of course, the spider is the weaver, the one who is the creator of all these wonderful patterns. And it's said that the spider created the first alphabet, the first languages. But spider is also the one that weaves their life that they want to live into being. So it's a very powerful manifestation symbol. Personally, I have trouble with spiders, but I'm picking this card this week with all of you who picked the spider because I've been seeing them all over the place in England right now because it's spider season and I'm constantly encountering them. So let's see what we're all learning through the spider energy. And the first card we see is the Death card. And the Death card can represent a major transformation or change that spider is going through. There is a clear demarcation or a threshold that you're crossing between the life that you've been creating toward the life that you're now trying to recreate. You're trying to weave a web of some new reality for yourself. And in order for that to fully manifest and be realized, you must let go of the past. You must let go of the old way of doing things. Always with the Death card, there's a sense of finality and a little bit of heaviness too. Because sometimes the Death card will say that we can't sugarcoat it. There's something of the past that just doesn't serve us anymore that we might need to grieve or let go of. But it's for our own best transformation. Because this change is inevitable. It's happening one way or the other. And change, even when it promises to be good for you. For example, with the Death card, there's that sun rising over the horizon, that symbol of hope and new beginnings. Even with the promise of hope and new beginnings, for all of us, there is that fear of change. Sometimes the known is preferable to the unknown, and we'll convince ourselves to stay in something that doesn't serve us just because it's so familiar and so comfortable that it just feels safer to be with that destructive thing, even though it's time to transform. And so I feel for you, my little dear spider, that you're needing to have courage to change. You're needing to see that the threshold that's before you is what you need to bravely step over. And I feel as well for you with this death card that there is a major transformation occurring for you. And always with the death card, there's rebirth. Always with every ending, there is that new beginning. So this isn't the end. It never really is truly the end when we're talking about our spirit and its evolution. But in order to get over our fear, we have to align less with our mortality and our worries about the physical world and the mundane, and align more with our spiritual identity, the higher self, the best self, which sees all of this in context. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you pick the spider, is another major arcana card in the Wheel of Fortune. And this might be helpful for inner wisdom for you, spider, because the Wheel of Fortune is comprised of two parts. You got the rim of the wheel, which represents the external world and the things outside of you that you're not in control of. And when we hitch ourselves to the rim of the wheel, we are doomed to rise every time we're approved of or something goes well. And then we're doomed to fall every time something unexpected happens. And change is the theme for both of these cards for spider. Change is in the air. Whether you want it or not, it's happening. And how are you going to reconcile yourself to the changes in front of you? Well, the Wheel of Fortune gives you the inner wisdom of the Sphinx, who's saying, do not sit on the rim of the wheel, but find the center, find the hub of the wheel, which is a symbol for your center. And if you can go into your center and operate from that eye of the storm, you can let all this crazy go on around you, and you'll be utterly unaffected by it. So I just feel like this is your time to find your center and align with that deeper inner wisdom if you pick the spider. You are actually creating something really powerful and beautiful. But in order for this to last, it must be aligned or married to that higher spirit source energy, that center energy. I think that that's going to be so important for you. And the mythic archetype that's going to help you with the spider, perhaps with whatever it is that you're creating appropriately, is Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. She's actually behind me here next to Tarot and Love. And her card says beauty, value, and the wish to love. And Venus could say that this is a time for you to create a life that truly is worthy of your love, that truly lets you feel your love, that you love. Because the fact of the matter is, there is only one lifetime where you're going to occupy the physical body that you find yourself in right now. And you might as well make this lifetime as enjoyable as possible by raising your standard and embracing yourself. Loving yourself, loving even the hard to love parts of yourself. This is going to help in your transformation. But I also feel with Aphrodite or Venus that what she's really saying is that if you do go through this major transformation, beauty is going to be the result. Your inner beauty will shine through. Your life will show you the beautiful things that are going to be created as a result of you crossing this important threshold. So I feel something of gravity is happening for the spider, something major. And I feel like it will result in a beautiful creation. And it's something that you'll truly be proud of if you can come into alignment with your center. And that is this week's Oracle. But before you go, remember I got one more card for the collective coming up. But at first I have to get some housekeeping out of the way. And so if you enjoy my content and you do not miss the Oracle reveal, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment in the box. It really does help YouTube know that this content is engaging and it helps grow our community. And also it helps me out, and I cannot thank you enough for that. Also, if you are interested in my style of reading, why not get a one-on-one tarot session with me? You can go to elliotoracle.com and book a session with me there. You'll be able to see my calendar, my availability, and I also got gift certificates available there. So if you're looking for the perfect gift that someone's going to talk about for years to come, you can schedule a session for them by getting a gift code and then sending that to them so that they can speak to me too. I also got a ton of free content on my website, elliotoracle.com, including tarot card meanings that are geared toward personal empowerment and are not rooted in fatalism, doom, or fear. So do check that out. You can just Google Elliot, Four of Cups, Elliot, Three of Pentacles, and you'll see that appropriate blog article. And so with all that housekeeping out of the way, thank you for your patience. We can go into the final card for the collective. And how beautiful is that? We got the Judgment card. And right along with that spider message of death and ending and all of that, the Judgment card is the card of rebirth, renewal. The angel of judgment blows the trumpet and all the dead rise out of the grave to live anew. And what this is a symbol for is that your spirit, that inner angel, it is waking up the dead parts of you. This is a time to wake up, to resurrect, to be as the phoenix and come out of the ashes to live again. The angel of judgment is saying that your awareness gives you great power. You do not want to sleepwalk through life at this time. You want to be open and aware and clear about what's right in front of you. This could be as well a time where you're awakening your enthusiasm or the parts of you that feel joy or feel good, instead of just getting mired in the negativity of the past or in old habits or patterns. The Judgment card can also remind you that after every ending, there is a rebirth, and that whatever it is that you're struggling with, whatever you're afraid of ending or changing for all three animals this next week, this is saying that a rebirth is assured. And something wonderful is going to come out of this if you have the courage to allow yourself to fully embrace it. So I just feel with the Judgment card, this is a time to align with your spirit, your spirituality, your higher self. And it's time to wake up those old projects, those old wishes, the things that you really wanted to do, but you made excuses about, and they're just collecting dust in the corner. It's time to make those things live again by waking up your spirit and aligning with your highest, best self. And that is finally the Oracle for this week. I do hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you again here next week. So thank you for tuning in, and everybody do take care.